Now for the top story tonight, reaction joining us from Little Rock, Fox News analyst Sarah Palin, who's doing a Republican fundraiser in Arkansas. So, Governor, you gave the keynote a couple of weeks ago in Nashville for the Tea Party convention. Did you see extremism? Do you think it's a danger to the Tea Party?
It was an honor to be able to deliver that keynote and really connect with Tea Partiers who have a simple message. A lot of people, I guess this New York Times reporter, they just don't like that message of we being taxed enough and wanting to remind our elected officials of their constitutional limitations of big government and just kind of get government back on the side of the people. It was an honor to connect with those people. Didn't see the extremism that, of course, those in some of the mainstream media and some self-proclaimed elites would like the rest of America to believe is encompassing the Tea Party movement. Didn't see that.
Okay, but I heard Tom Tancredo, former congressman from Colorado, level some pretty tough charges on illegal immigration, and, he's known for that. I didn't think it was racist, but I thought it went right up to the line. We sent our producer, Jesse Waters, down. He did see signs that were extremist. There's no doubt about that. In the article in the New York Times today, they quote people who are getting their guns ready and things like this. So you do know that this strain exists under that umbrella.
Well, obviously, though, you got to consider the source. This reporter is going to go out and find that extreme fringe within a movement like this. So we have to keep that in perspective, too. That is what I believe a lot of folks in the mainstream media want Americans to believe, is that this is, for the most part, a fringe element of our society. It is not. And if these reporters, too, Bill, don't know the people that are a part of a Tea Party movement, they need to get a life. They need to get out maybe into a small town and get to know the local business owner, the local gas station owner, the local...
Well, they went to Sandpoint, Idaho, the Times did, and then they brought in all the Nazi stuff that had been up there, and they brought in all the malicious stuff, Weaver and such that had been up there. Look, there's no doubt that the New York Times wants to brand the Tea Party as a bunch of extremist loons. There's no doubt they want to do that. But there is danger, do you agree with me, that there is danger if some Tea Party people play into that? If they do say, we're getting our guns and we're going to overthrow, and Obama's this and Obama's that, and he isn't born here. I mean, there was a birther thing going on at the convention. You don't believe in the birther thing, do you,
No, in those wild conspiracy theories about our own government, I think shouldn't have a part of the dialogue, of the debate. What the debate needs to be about is the good ideas, the foundational principles that built this country into the most prosperous and healthiest and most voluntarily generous nation on earth. Safest place, too. We need to get back to those principles.
I'm unclear. Do you think that the birther people should have a place at the Tea Party table? Do you think that they should have a place there?
There is always going to be an element of those who want to be a part of a movement, who have their own ideas of where the country should go or what's going on.
Then what do you do with those people? Do you accept them and embrace them?
You don't take away their First Amendment rights, and we say you cannot speak about those things or ask those questions that you want answers to. That's part of democracy at work.
But do you see the danger that if that becomes the headline, then the mainstream American who isn't really following it that closely says, hey,
I see the danger of more of the same of the mainstream media wanting to paint Tea Partiers as radical, wacko, conspiracy theorists. And if we allow that to happen, then no, this grassroots movement of the people wanting their voice to be heard, because there is such a disconnect between what's going on in Washington and the people that Washington is supposed to be serving.
How does the Tea Party then expand its power base with no leadership, no central authority, so that you could have in one state a great Tea Party, a bunch of people who are, just concerned about their country, sincere, clear-thinking individuals, but then you could have another group up in the mountains with bazookas, saying, hey, we're not going to obey the laws, we're not going to pay taxes, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. Because if there isn't any central theme, if there isn't any authority that says you can go up to this line, but you can't go over it.
There doesn't have to be.
I don't know if you can.
There doesn't have to be an authority. That's the point of this. This isn't a well-oiled machine. Heaven forbid it become like a Republican or a Democrat political machine. This is a movement, so there doesn't have to be someone or some group of people with titles.
But how does it then get beyond just a curiosity? Look, the Tea Party people, and I know this from me doing speeches, and you do speeches around the country. You're doing one in Arkansas. The Tea Party people really want change. That's what unifies them all, the loons and the good people. They really want the government to change. But you're never going to get that unless you get political clout and power, unless you drive the other people out.
I beg to differ, though, with your suggestion that there is not a common theme amongst the Tea Partiers, and yet there is. It's very simple. It's smaller, smarter government, more freedom, allowing our small businesses and our families to make our own decisions and prioritize our own incomes and reinvestment opportunities so that we can grow and thrive and create more jobs. There is that common theme in strong national defense. So with that strong theme, what the Tea Partiers are going to be able to do is find candidates who can be in a position to cast the votes that affect every one of us, every one of our businesses and our families.
Do you think,
find those candidates and support them.
Being at this Republican deal in Arkansas tonight, do you think the Tea Party will eventually merge with the Republican Party? Do you see them in the next election 12 coming together, or will they be separate?
Well, most Tea Partiers, I know, they are independent. They're not registered in either one of the political parties, and they haven't been politically active in terms of being obsessively partisan one way or the other. But they are more aligned, it seems, with the ideals, the planks in the platform of the Republican Party. And the Republican Party would be very wise to be listening to what they're saying, to understand the frustrations of those independent Americans who are saying Washington is disconnected from the people who are to be served.
Okay. Now, we're going to have more with Governor Palin in a moment. A sitcom attacks her family. She will react to the Family Guy.